Hey everyone, so let's try to create a routing rule via Fusion. Okay, so let's try to add a create record module here. Adobe Workfront, create a record. Okay, now let's try to search for routing rule R. We don't have routing rule. Okay, we don't have routing rule in create record module. So what is the next option? The next option is to use custom API call. So in order to do a custom API call, we need to have a JSON message because we are going to push the JSON message to Workfront, right? We need to do a post call. Okay, think about it. So we need to do a post call. We need to do a JSON message. We need to have a JSON message. How do we get the JSON message? That's the next question. If you do a get call, you will get the JSON format, and using that, we can actually formulate the JSON message and push it into Workfront, right? So that's the plan. So let's do that. Okay, cancel. So let's try to do a get call here. So Adobe Workfront custom API call. First of all, okay, our rule. Okay, so our rule slash search. Okay, question mark routing rule search. Our rule. How did I get that? I went to the developers.adobe.com/workfront, this portal. Okay, and then I search for routing, and then I can see that the format is R rule, right? That's how I got it. Okay, and then R rule, I'm searching for R rule. Okay, I'm searching for routing rule where name equal to what? Let's try to have let's try to get a sample routing rule here. This is a sample routing rule. Let's try to search for it. Basically, test routing rule one. Okay, so let's try to search for this one. Name equal to this one, and it resides in a particular project, right? It resides in a particular project, and that project would be this. Um, so what is that project ID? They have something called project ID. So let's double click here, and then let's try to do this here. Project ID equal to what is the project ID? Project ID is here. So I'm just copying pasting it from the URL, ID of the project. Okay, so basically I'm searching for this particular routing rule so that I can formulate the JSON. Okay, so let's try to click OK there, save it. Let's try to run this module only here. Okay, so here we go. So we have this here. Let's try to get this. Okay, let's try to get all the fields. So how do you do that? And fields equal to star. Okay, so let's get all the fields here. That will be helpful if we do that. Run this module. Okay, so here we go. So we have all the fields now here. Okay, no, we don't have anything there. What happened there? So let's try to check that. And okay, there's a mistake here. And fields equal to star. So let's try to save, run it, run this module only. Okay, here we go. So we got the routing rule format here. So let's try to download the output bundles here. Okay, just copy paste it here, copy, control C. Okay, copy it, and let's try to do a create JSON. So let's do a create JSON here, create JSON here, and let's name it our rule data structure. Okay, then let's try to add the JSON here, save it. Okay, here we go. We have the JSON here. We don't need some other fields. I don't think we need security root ID. I don't think we need security root obj code. So let's delete that. Okay, the rest of the fields are good. Save it here. And here we go. So we have everything here. Okay, now what we need to do is we need actually, let's try to get all the data. Okay, so here we have body is from the routing rule. Let's try to get the obj code. Okay, let's try to assign some variables here. Obj code is here, and then customer ID is here. So let's assign that to this variable, and then default team ID. So I'm going to route it to this particular team, which is actually digital marketing team. So just push it here. Project ID, where project ID. So I'm going to push it to this particular project, create routing rule POC test 2. So let me just get the ID of the project from here. Okay, and then let's try to Control V here. So then what is the name? What should be the name of the routing rule? Let's have it like um, test routing rule via Fusion. Okay, let's name it like this. Okay, here we go. So we have the data here. Let's assign it to a global variable here. Add a module, tools, set multiple variables. Okay, and then let's try to add all the variables here. Okay, just copy this here and the Control V. Copy this. Okay, so now I've copied all the variables here. So now let's try to click OK here. Okay, now let's try to delete this. We don't need it anymore. So let's try to unlink it first of all. Unlink it and unlink. Sorry, let's try to unlink it and then push this clock here. And then I don't want this one. Just delete it and let's align this here properly. Auto align. Okay. Okay, so now we have the global variables here, and now let's try to map all the variables there. Okay, name should be var routing rule name. Okay, obj code should be var obj code. Customer id should be var customer id. Okay, and then default team id should be var default team id, and then project id should be var project id. Okay, perfect. Now let's do a custom api call here. So Adobe Workfront, let's try to do a custom API call. Let's say our rule, okay, our rule, and then we are going to do a post call, okay, and then let's try to add the module, add the body here. I mean the output from the create JSON module here. Okay, so the output will be coming here. So let's map it here. Perfect, and let's click on OK there. Okay, so basically let's rename it properly. Rename. This is set global variables. Okay, and then this is what? Let's name it properly. Rename. Create routing R rule JSON post message. Okay, and then let's name it like create R rule. Okay, perfect, right? So let's try to save it. Let's try to run it here. Okay, yeah, it's created a routing rule here. Perfect. So here we have the data here. Perfect. Now let's try to check it in the project. So this is our project. Let's try to refresh it. Right now we don't have any routing rule here. Okay, so let's try to go to routing rule and check that here. Yeah, here we go. We have the routing rule here. So that's how you create a routing rule via Fusion. I hope this was useful. Have a great day.